Good morning. It's morning uh, here when I'm recording this. This is a welcome video for EDCI 503, the K-12 curriculum studies. Although don't let that course description throw you, particularly for your higher ed folks. So this is for the summer class that begins June 1st. If you're seeing this, that means Moodle is up. So I'll be loading this into Moodle. So I'm going to go over a few things, but mainly here to welcome you to the class. I've been teaching this course for quite a while. And it's an asynchronous class, which basically means that there's no live video classes or anything like that. So I need to share the screen. I'm going to pause for a second. Okay, I'm back, and now I'll see if I can share my screen. Yes, I had no screen to share earlier. Okay, so just a quick an outline. We shouldn't be here very long. So this, I'm hoping I'm under 20 minutes. So as I said, this is an asynchronous course, which means I do have date lines for when assignments and projects are due and discussion boards. Please hold to those in order to get through the course without being overly frantic at the end. The sooner everything gets turned in, the happier we will all be. Grades, I believe, and I need to confirm this, but I think grades will be due on June 28th. So this is a June only class. As I said earlier, we begin on June 1st. As soon as Moodle is available, I will upload everything, and I will send you an email on that. So you'll probably get the email before you actually see this video. My office hours will be on the syllabus. In the summer, I come in one day. I believe I'm in from 9 to 1 or something to that effect. But I'm also available by appointment. And I'm available through Zoom. We can have a Zoom meeting if you want to meet that way, or we can chat on my cell. My cell number is on the syllabus. Okay. And once class starts, really from now on, all correspondence really need to be through the Nichols account. Okay. The philosophy of the course, is one of reflective practice. Or really, I should say, as you'll read, reflective praxis, which is basically can be understood as thoughtful action or thoughtful practice. We are in the beginnings of hurricane season. We've never had, there really aren't emergency measures for this class, although we have to kind of talk about it briefly. There is all the emergency procedures on the syllabus, but because we're asynchronous, we don't do anything live. We don't have to move to another type of delivery. This was true during COVID last spring. And so it was relatively seamless. Oh, not even relative, it was seamless. Okay, you'll submit assignments and projects through Portfolium. This will be this won't matter. Any of y'all who, if this is your second or third semester, this will be our last semester or session using Portfolium. We're going to a whole nother system in the fall by Watermark, who were the people that at the end owned LiveText. How this is all working, I'm not sure. I do have some email on this that I'll be looking at before the summer starts. Anyway, so this will be my 5th or 6th system that for turning in assignments and for our portfolio stuff, which only matters to the end of your career here in grad school. So, but Portfolio is relatively easy to use. There will be a link in Moodle where you click on it and submit your papers. So relatively easy, and then I get notified, I respond, and then you get notified. Okay, so assignments, there is, you'll see in the syllabus, there's some reading and videos in topics 1 and 2 of Moodle that I want you to look at in the first few, if possible by the 1st, if this gets out soon enough, but certainly in the first couple of days. And there's a discussion board for you to talk about what you're discovering in these videos and reading that's all online, and about curriculum. So what I've discovered over the years of teaching this course is most of your understanding of what curriculum is very narrow focused based on your experiences in schools. But curriculum has a much broader, much more open-ended idea. I am, through my research, I'm really a curriculum theorist and curriculum historian. So I've traced this, and you'll be reading some of this, whether in this class or in the 504 class, which some of y'all may be taking at the same time, but may have already taken or may take later. So that'll be the first thing. And then there are 3 readings with 3 glosses. I will be doing a video on a gloss. It's a new concept. You're not sure what it is. It's really pretty simple, but I'll talk about the gloss. And I take a process approach, meaning if you write something and I think you need to do more, I'll let you know before I grade it, give you time. So what I generally tell people, if you have a little bit of writer's block or anxiety about writing something like this, go ahead and write something and then submit it, or you can email it to me if you want. And I can let you know what else, if anything, that you need to do. Most of the time, I'm telling students that go ahead and submit this as is in Portfolio. All of these readings are on curriculum. The Harvey reading is a paper that I did on Gabriel Harvey and his idea of curriculum from the 16th century. So I think you'll find it quite modern in that sense, even though it's from that. But it gives you a different way to think about curriculum that is outside of standard and the basic lesson or the scripted lesson as we're coming to do more of. It really looks at a philosophy of the student and teacher. I had this paper published a few years ago. So, and this is the kind of work that I do in my research. The next reading is by Bill Dahl, William Dahl. Bill Dahl was my major professor. He passed away a couple of years ago, probably 3 years this Christmas time. And the name of the piece is Keeping Knowledge Alive. So his big thing was always being playful, that curriculum should be playful. And so keep it alive, but getting students to play with it is his idea, and building deeper understandings through that process. You actually will be introduced to Dahl in the Harvey reading. So in addition to Gabriel Harvey's work, I have a few pages on John Dewey and how they relate to Harvey, as well as Bill Dahl and Alfred North Whitehead. You will get some Whitehead in the Dahl piece as well. So this is a way for you to actually, and I should do a gloss, have you do a gloss on Whitehead, but I won't. So you're getting a little bit of Whitehead. In a regular semester, there would be a fourth reading by Dwayne Huebner that has more Whitehead. And so clearly, Whitehead is important. He's also a historical figure from the early part of the 20th century. And if I have any math teachers out here, he co-wrote Principia Mathematica with Bertrand Russell. That's the basic text on mathematical logic. So whenever you do set theory, for instance, you're doing things that they wrote about. The final author is Ted Aoki. I'm only having you read one chapter, chapter 2. There are three chapters in the reading. If you want to read chapter 4, that's up to you. Gives you a bit more about it, but for the summer, we're just doing the one chapter. There are 2 books and discussion boards with each book. The first book is James Paul G's What Video Games Have to Teach Us About Learning and Literacy. And this book may surprise you a little bit. It's been around a little while. I tell you guys to, if you want to order it, you can get it on ABE Books or abooks.com. And I'll have this in the email as well. It's on the syllabus. And it's usually under $5. But it's another way. So G's background is as a science educator, has worked on science curriculum. So he brings that to this idea of how maybe video game developers do a better job developing curriculum than educators and curriculum specialists. I don't consider myself a curriculum specialist. Okay. But I do have my ideas about curriculum. And so there are a set of videos that come out of the book that should be helpful. There are probably 3 discussion questions or 3 prompts. So once Moodle is up, then I'll include those. The second book, not as inexpensive, unfortunately, although I think there's some that are available for under $30 through Abe Books and maybe through Amazon used books. So, which I think, I can't remember if it's Amazon or Barnes and Nobles that owns Abe Books, but anyway, and you can always rent it, I guess, through the union. There'll be 4. This is called Curriculum in Abundance. These are Canadian scholars who all happen to be students at one time of Ted Aoki, so there's more relationship. Dahl's part of this group in the sense that he taught in Canada. So he has a very strong connection to the Canadian scholars, including Aoki when he was alive. He's passed away like 10 years ago. So the authors are Jardine, Frizan, and Clifford. They teach in Canada. Well, I think Jardine is retired, but he's pretty prolific. He continues to write. The 2, and so there'll be 4 and we'll talk a little bit more about abundance, but it's a way to think. Generally, we're presented a curriculum as an idea of scarcity. That's the curriculum of accountability and testing, okay? Rather than seeing curriculum as abundant, connected, rich, okay? Some of these words you'll find in Dahl, okay? So, I don't think our testing curriculum that we have now is very rigorous. Not truly, okay? It pretends to be. But we'll talk more about this. The 2 projects, you need to do a curriculum vision. There are guidelines in Moodle on this. I will go over this a little bit. And then that's due I think that's due around June 20th, 21st. That's basically 4 short paragraphs following the guidelines. So it's a 50-point assignment. The big assignment is your curriculum evaluation, in which were guidelines on how to unpack a curriculum, particularly unpack the standards, and to repack it based on your analysis of the standards in the curriculum, okay? And then you repack it into a 5-day unit. How you do that is up to you. I'm not a stickler in design of the project, but you do need to cover all the bases, okay? And the key thing at the end of the curriculum, the big curriculum project, is a reflection, which is meant to tell me what you learned about curriculum by doing this. Okay, it's not an analysis, but a true reflection. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I'm going to check. I'll have to check the videos and make sure they're all working. But that'll when they load Moodle and it makes it available, I'll do that, and then I'll put this in. So Anyway, so that's probably just over 20 minutes. I will end at this point. Wish you the best, and I'm always available by email or a phone call. All the best this summer.